Hello Sunshine, it's Steph and welcome back to my YouTube channel, where each week I'm sharing with you guys lessons on how to turn your own passions into paid gigs as a freelancer online. And this week's topic is an extra juicy one because it's one that gets a lot of us freelancers a little confused. We're like, should we offer revisions? Should we not? How do you offer them? What is going to be best for the overall freelancing process? And so today we're diving deep into revisions, whether you should offer revisions or not, how to offer revisions, how many revisions to offer, all of the juicy details. So keep watching till the end to make sure that you learn all about this process so you don't mess it up and let it ruin your freelancing reputation. Now, if you didn't watch last week, make sure you go back and watch that one. That was all about UGC, or user-generated content. And if you're someone who wants to freelance and make videos and photos with free products all the time while also getting paid, that's going to be a great one for you to go back and watch. In today's video, I'm going to cover some of the most popular questions about revisions. Things like, what is a revision? How do you offer one? How many should you offer? How do you go about offering them? All of these things we'll cover in today's video. So first of all, what is a revision? It's basically where you are making a correction for the buyer. Someone has purchased from you, or they plan to purchase from you, and you have to decide, are you going to allow them to make an extra correction or 2 or 3 plus more to your delivery? So the question is, do you want to deliver to them once and say, this is all you get no corrections, take it or leave it, and they can either say, okay, we'll take it, or we'll leave it, we're going to cancel, you're not going to get paid for any of your work? Or are you going to say, you're allowed to have one correction, one revision in which I deliver, you can come back to me and have a couple suggestions on what to correct, I'll correct it and I'll deliver a second time, right? That's if you offer one revision. Or you can offer 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, as many as you want, unlimited if you want. Okay, but that's what a revision is. It's the process of going back and forth, communicating with them, seeing what they want changed. You go back and do some more work to change it, improve it, to make it more to their liking, and you deliver again. A revision is a correction made by you to make your client more happy. So you, as the freelancer, can choose how many revisions you want to include in your gig or your custom offer. When you are freelancing on a website like Fiverr.com, people can buy from you in 2 ways. They can either buy a gig directly from your page, or they can message you and get a custom offer made by you. And either way that they buy from you, you want to make it very crystal clear on your listings or within your communication to them how many revisions are included in the price. You've got to make it crystal clear upfront. Otherwise, they're going to haggle with you. They're going to be like, oh, can you fix this? Oh, can you do this for me? And it can ultimately cost you a lot of your valuable time. You're no longer going to get paid for your worth and your time if you don't make it clear how many revisions are included in their package or their custom offer, right? So make it very clear in your gigs how many revisions are included, and make it very clear if they are messaging you about a custom offer, how many revisions are included. So here's how to do it. Within the gig, this is exactly where you can go in and you can decide how many revisions are included. But if they're messaging you wanting a custom offer, then you just need to type out exactly how many revisions are included when you're quoting them on a custom offer price. So you, as the freelancer, are probably asking, okay, Stephanie, well, how many should I include? What is the typical revision policy for most freelancers? And the answer is it should really depend on you and the services that you offer. Here is the detailed answer, though. It should depend on what you want to provide. If you're someone who wants no fuss, you do not want to go back and do revision after revision after revision, then make it very clear up front, this does not include any revisions. If you want a revision that is an add-on for an additional blank dollars, I will provide one revision. So it could be something like, on the gig, it's very clear. This does not include any revisions, but if you want one revision, that is $50 for each revision. As long as you make that clear up front, then people will understand and they will keep that in mind before they decide to buy from you. However, if you are someone who is all about the customer and you want to make sure they are so, so happy no matter how much time it takes you, then maybe you would offer unlimited revisions, right? I'm willing to go back over and over and over and over and over, even if it takes me an extra hour or 2 hours of work. If you care so much about making them happy and getting that 5-star review on your end, then maybe you want to offer unlimited revisions. Personally, and as a freelance coach, I recommend you pick somewhere in the middle. Let's not go extreme and say no revisions, because then you're going to struggle with making sure everyone's happy. And let's not go extreme and say unlimited, because you've got to value your time, right? Pick somewhere in the middle that works well for you. And I can tell you from experience, as a freelancer for over 5 years and as a freelance coach who's very observant of what other people are selling online, most people tend to offer 1 to 2 revisions included in their packages. So when you're deciding what to price your gigs at, price them in a way that will account for possibly 1 to 2 revisions. How much extra should you charge to include 1 to 2 revisions in your total offer, in your gig, or a custom offer, right? I think that you also have to keep in mind not only what works well for you and what's a good balance between these extremes, you also have to consider what service or work you're doing. If you're doing a service that's very easy to revise, for example, you're writing someone a blog and they ask for a revision like, hey, can you actually change this paragraph up? I want it to go this direction. How long will that take you? A couple minutes. That's an easy revision, right? So if you're doing some sort of work and it's very easy to quickly go in and modify and improve things to someone's liking, then that's going to be much easier and quicker for you. However, if you're doing a service like me and it's extremely time intensive to go back and redo something, then you want to keep that in mind as well, which is why personally I have a caveat to my revision. I'm someone who's creating these custom videos for brands, right? It's very time intensive. I have to set up my lighting, my camera, and my studio, make sure everything's charged and ready to go. I have to get myself presentable doing my hair and makeup. I have to make sure the setting is appropriate for what the product is and that it looks the same when I'm filming it that day, right? So if I'm filming someone a custom video and I go film it and then I go edit it and deliver it, and they say, oh, Stephanie, actually, I wanted you to say it this way instead of this way. I say, well, I'm sorry, in my revision policy that you agreed to, you agreed that I will do 1 revision edit for you, but I won't reshoot anything because the shoots are time intensive. So people that buy from me know that I'm not going to go reshoot something, because that's another hour plus of my time to try and get everything looking the exact same way that it was, hair, makeup, lighting, shooting the same time of day, just so I can change a line for them. Personally, I don't have the time or patience to do that. So I make them agree before they purchase with me that they agree to my revision policy that I will not do any reshoots for them unless, of course, I made a mistake. The only time I will do a revision if it's a simple re-edit. If I'm changing up the scenes, changing the text, changing the music, something I can go into my video editing software and re-edit, I'm happy to do another 1 revision for them included, because that doesn't take much time, and that's just the way I've packaged and priced my offers, right? So to go back to the answer, what is typical? How many revisions are typical to include? Keep in mind, you want to keep in mind, like, all right, what service you're offering, how much time and patience you have to do revisions, and also keep in mind that at the end of the day, this is a service that you're providing and you want to make your customers, your buyers happy, right? So offering 0 revisions at all, you're going to struggle because people may ultimately not be happy and you're going to get bad reviews, or they're going to cancel the order. You're not going to get paid at all. So try to find that happy balance of offering some sort of revision or 2, customize it to whatever service you're providing, and be very clear about that upfront. I have had people in the past say, you know, I understand that I agreed to your revision policy and you don't reshoot, so please charge me the fee to reshoot. I'm happy to pay that. And they knew, because up front, before they ordered from me, they knew to expect that. And they changed their minds about how they wanted one of the scenes filmed. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, here's the revision add-on, here's $50, pay this. and I'm happy to reshoot for you, right? So just make it clear what your policy is up front. You're the freelancer, you're the business owner, so you get to decide how you want that revision policy process to go. So if you're someone who wants to have that little add-on of a revision, if you don't want to include unlimited revisions, then here's how you do it. When you go in to your gig, you can have in the add-on package section, you can have a revision fee. And you can make per one quantity revision, you can charge X amount of dollars. And that's how you can add that on later on once you've already delivered and people decide they want an additional revision. So how does the revision process work? Just a quick play-by-play. How it works is you get the order, you work on it, you deliver it to them. You hit that green button, deliver. They, the buyer, then see the delivery, and if they are unhappy, they will click reject. Instead of clicking accept and everything goes great and the order is complete, they'll click reject. You'll get a notification that says that they've rejected it, to please take a look at what they want changed. And then you can decide, are you going to work on this revision? Was it included? If it wasn't included, then you want to communicate to them that there's no revision included. So would you like to purchase the add-on revision for one revision? And you go from there, right? It's really up to you how you handle it, but stand firm in your revision policy. Otherwise, people are going to take advantage of you and they're going to ask for more and more changes, and it's really going to waste your time. So be very, very clear about it up front. Another common question is about delivering your projects on time, right? You can kind of get in trouble if you don't deliver your projects on time. So if you deliver something and they reject it and they want a revision, and then you go down this rabbit hole of, okay, sure, I'll revise, let me go work on it again and deliver again, are you now delivering late? And the answer is no. The only time that delivery time is affected is upon that first delivery. So as long as you deliver the first final draft on time, that's all that matters. If they ask for a revision and the order goes into a revision mode, it can never be late again, because at that time you're just kind of waiting, going back and forth with them, revising, delivering, perhaps revising again, delivering. So your delivery time will not be negatively impacted if you go into that revision mode cycle, okay? All right, you guys, the last section I want to share with you today is that Fiverr.com does have some tips on revisions, and they have tips for buyers, they have tips for us sellers or freelancers. So I'm just going to put it up on screen here and read it to you. Basically, what they're saying is that they have some tips for buyers, and it's that the buyer needs to let the seller know within 3 days of the order being delivered if they want to accept or they want to reject. So there is a 3-day waiting period that Fiverr gives them to make that decision. Then us as the sellers or freelancers, they're telling us to make sure we communicate very clearly the exact number of revisions we're willing to offer within the gig or the custom offer. And when we do offer a revision, always respect their request. It's really important that we communicate professionally and that we do our best to make them happy while also respecting the boundaries of that rule that we put on the revisions. So be very crystal clear with your revision policy, right? Just like I do, saying I don't do reshoots, but I'm happy to do one editing only revision. Maybe customize it to whatever your service you're providing, right? Make sure it's very, very specific to what you're willing to provide. And finally, if you choose to set unlimited revisions, it is your responsibility to continue to revise over and over and over until they are satisfied, which could mean that could take years. Who knows? I would hate for that to happen to any of you. So that's why I highly recommend that you don't do the unlimited. I would probably do 1 or 2 maximum. All right, you guys, so that's how the whole revision process works, specifically for Fiverr.com. As you can now understand, you've got to find that balance of making your buyer happy, but also keeping yourself happy, right? There comes a point where if you're giving too many revisions out for free, you're no longer going to be happy. You're going to be frustrated and annoyed by having to redo things over and over. At the same time, you want your buyer to be happy. You truly want them to be happy and possibly come back to you and hire you again. You want to build up those great 5-star reviews. So you've got to find that balance of keeping yourself happy, but also making them happy. Because at the end of the day, this is your work and you want to continue to enjoy your work so that it really doesn't feel like work, right? So you as the freelancer have that power in your hands to decide how many revisions are you willing to do to remain happy but keep them happy as well, right? So that's how the revision process works. I hope you guys found this video helpful on that decision on how many revisions to provide. And if you have any suggestions on what else you want to learn, comment below. I'd love to hear your feedback for next week's topic, all right? Let's go ahead and wrap up for today. If you are Now, before I go, I want to mention that if you have not yet got the Fiverr roadmap, go get the free Fiverr roadmap. It's 12 steps to guide you on how to get started selling on Fiverr. If you do it within 24 hours and join the challenge on this link here, I have 2 freebies to offer you. One is I'll offer you a free Fiverr audit. I will audit your first gig, tell you how to improve it. The second, I'll invite you to join our freelancing community that is brand new and I'm building from the ground up. You can have lifetime membership within this community, all by following the roadmap steps and getting started by tomorrow on Fiverr. It's a win-win. You're going to start building your Fiverr freelancing empire. You're going to get these 2 freebies from me, join my circle, and really start to feel plugged in and supported in a freelancing community. So if you haven't yet got that, go get it here, stephdoworth.com/roadmaps. All right. All right, that is it for today, you guys. Thanks for joining me. I hope you loved this video. Forrester is going to make an appearance. Don't worry, just real quick, take a look. There he is. Hi, Forrester. He's sleeping, you guys. But I hope you have a beautiful day. As always, peace and love.